Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs. And today we are going to be making this Happy St. Patty's Day square. Um, but we're going to make this into a hot pad. And we have a 30 by 30. So I chained 30 and did my base, and then you did two more rows of purl stitching. So you should have 3 rows before we start this. Okay. Um, so on to row 4. We need 10 pearl white. We need 9 pearl white because this one counts, remember? So there's 3. Anyway, so now we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am going to use a dark green. And then I'm going to actually do a simple stitch with this because we're doing words and I don't want anything weird happening with it. So we're just going to do a simple stitch with all the green, all the words, okay? So then we need 2 white. We need 1 dark green and then 2 white, but those are purled. And then we're just going to pull this green over, and we need 1 green. We're going to do a simple, and then a pearl white, and then another green. And then we need 2 pearl whites. And then we need this green again. So we need 2 green. And the simple stitch, which is we did that in January, the simple stitch. And then we need 10. The last 10 are pearls, whites. So there is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So then we're going to go back and take them off, right? So the first one, only 1 comes off, and then we're going to go through 2 until we get to the green. And then once we get to the green, we got to pull up the green, and we'll go through the next 2 with the green. And we'll kind of pull that, bring the white back over, go through the next 2. And then the green again. So where there's a green, you go through with the green. Where there's a white, you go through with a white. And then we're going to take the white and we're going to go through 2 until we're done, until we get down to 1 loop on our hook. And that is row 4 finished. So once you go forward and back, that is 1 row. Anyway, that doesn't look like anything right now, but we're going to go to row 5. So again, we need 10 pearls or 9 pearls because we already have the one on our hook. It counts. So there's a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then we need 1 green, and 2 white. So we're going to purl those. And then we need another green. We need green, white, green. That's actually what we need here. Green, white, green. Purling the white. I'm doing the simple stitch for the green part. And then we need to do 2 pearl whites. Nope, 1 pearl white. Hang on, 1 pearl white. Then we need a green. White, green again. Oh, dang it. I'm trying to purl that green. Hang on a second. We're going to do a simple stitch with this white one because we're going on white on a different color and it doesn't look great when you purl it. And then we're going to do another green simple. And then we have 10 pearls to finish it off. Well, actually we have 9 pearls and then the end stitch, which will make 10. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So that was row 5. We'll take those off and then we'll be back for row 6. All right, so row 6, again, we're going to need 9 pearls. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, well, 10. 9 pearls, but this, okay, you'll have 10 stitches altogether. All right, then we need 1 green and 2 white pearls. And then we need 3 green. So we're going to, there's 1, 2, 3, and the next one is a white pearl. All right, and then we need green, white, green. As long as you're going white on white, you can purl it. But if you're going to change colors, so white, green, and then we need to go back to the white and do 9 pearls plus the end stitch. So you'll have 10 left, 10 loops on your hook at the end here of white. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all right, and then we take them off. I'm doing this. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to come out. I'm hoping it comes out fine, that you'll be able to read the words. All right, finish off here. And that is row 6. So row 7 then, we are going to need 8 white pearls. So you'll have 9 loops on your hook before we get to that green. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we need a green, white, green. So green, and this white will be a simple stitch because we're going white on green here. And then another green. And then we need, well, we're just going to keep going green, white, green for a while here. So we need another white, but this white here gets a pearl. And then we need okay, the green, white, green. The white on this one here gets a simple stitch. And this green gets a simple stitch. And the next white gets a pearl. Alright, and then we are doing the green, white, green again. But this green and white gets the pearl. Alright, and then we need 9 pearls plus the end stitch. We'll make 10 loops on your hook. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then this end one will make 10. Alright, then work those off, and then we'll be back for row 8 next. Alright, so row 8, we are needing 8 pearls again, but you will have 9 because of this here. So with a total of 9. So there is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Alright, then we need a green and a white and a green. But this white one gets purled because we're white on white. And then another green. And then another white. We need 2 whites actually. Hang on, we need to purl that. And that white gets purled, but this one gets simple stitched. And then we need a green. And then this next white gets simple stitched, and the next one gets purled. Actually, yep, and then the next white gets simple stitched. Then we need 2 greens. Alright, and then we need 9 pearl whites with the end stitch. We'll make a 10 loops on your hook to end this row. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, we'll work those off and we'll be back for row 9 next. Okay, so row 9 is all white all the way across, and we're just going to purl those. Some of them get purled, some don't. I will show you. So the first 8 here gets purled. So if you're white on white, this is the rule. If you're white on white, you will purl it with these pearls, because otherwise when you change colors with the pearls, it don't look right. We're all done with that dark green. So when you get to the green, then we're just going to simple stitch it. Okay, simple stitch the green, and then you see a white, purl it. And then the next one is green, so simple stitch it. And then purl the next 2 whites. And then simple stitch the green. And then purl the next 3 whites. And then the next 2 stitches, greens get simple stitched. And then purl the rest of the whites all the way across until you get to that end stitch. And by the end of this row, you should have 30 stitches of white. And then take those off, and we'll be back for row 10 next. Okay, so we're going to cut off this dark green because we are going to use regular green next. We just finished up that word day, and you could see that it pretty much says day. I mean, I guess that's okay. Anyway, so this row, row 10, is you're going to purl the first stitch, and you have 2 2 loops on your hook, which is what you should have before we start this green. And then we are going to go in and pull that green through, and we need 3 of these. So the next 3 loops is this green. All right, then we're going to pull over the white, and we're going to purl the next 5 white. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and then we need 1 green. So pull the green over. Actually, I think that's too long. I'm going to pull in another green. That's too far to pull that over. And then pull back over, and that's going to be a mess back there. So we need 1 green. And then 3 pearl whites. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then we need 1 green again. and 3 pearl whites, and then 1 green. So we got 5, 3, and 3. Now we need 2 pearl whites, all right, and another green. So we need green, white, green now. Green, a pearl white, and a green. And then we need 3 pearl whites. And then a green, I didn't skip any stitches, did I? All right, we need green here. Oh, and then 2, no, that's right. Then we need 2, one is a pearl, the next white is pearl, and then the last white one is at the end here. Okay. All right, so that's what it looks like. Work those off, and we'll be back for row 11 next. All right, row 11. Again, we just need 2, so we're going to purl this next stitch, and then we have 2 white. So now we just need 1 green this time. And then the next 2 whites will be simple stitched because we're going white on green here. And then the next 5 stitches will be purled. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that'll make you 7. So then we need another green and 3 white. Oops, wrong one. And be careful we don't get the end stitch. All right, so now we need 3 pearl whites. And then we need another green and 3 pearl whites. And another green. And now we need 2 pearl whites. And then a green, white, green. And that white will be purled. And then we need 3 pearl whites. And a green. And then 1 pearl white, and then the end, which will make you 2 whites at the end there. And that's what row 11 looks like. So work those off, and we'll be back for row 12 next. All right, so row 12, again, we just need 1 pearl white here to make 2 white at the beginning here, 2 white. And now we need 3 green. And 5 pearl white. Actually, no, we're going to need 2 pearl white. And then we need a green. And 2 pearl white. And then a green. And then 3 pearl white. Oh, I missed one. Come on. Easy to miss the stitches. Gotta watch for those stitches that like to hide. Alright, then another green and 3 pearl white. And then another green. And 2 pearl white. And then we need 3 green. And 1 pearl white. And 3 green again. And then you have a pearl white, 1 pearl white, and then the end stitch, which will give you 2 stitches at the end of white. Or yeah, 2 loops, stitches, whatever. All right, so there we go. That is row 12. Work those off, and we'll be back for row 13 next. So row 13, we're going to start out with 5 white. The first one is going to be purled. And then the next 3 are going to be simple stitched. All right, and wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. It is 4 or not 5. Why did I put 5 there? That is 4. It is 4. All right, so the first one's purl, the next two are simple stitched, then we need a green, and then we need one white purled, and then a green again, and then we need a white simple stitched, and then the next white will be purled. So there's 2 white all together there, and then we need a green, white, green, but the white will be simple stitched. And then we need 2 pearl whites. And then a green. And then 3 pearl whites. And then a green. And then 2 pearl whites. And then we need a green, white, green, all going to be simple stitched. So then this is the white simple stitch and a green simple stitch. The next white is purled. All right, and then we need a green, white, green again. That'll all be simple stitched. And then we need a pearl, white, and then the end stitch will be the 2 whites at the end. And that's what it looks like. All right, work those off, and we'll be back for row 14 next. All right, so row 14, we're going to start out with the 2 stitches again, so we just need 2 white, and then we need 3 green. So there's 1, 2, 3, then the 2 white. So the first one is going to be purled, and the second one is simple stitched. Then we need a green, and then we need 1 white. So it's purled, And then we need green, white, green, and this white is pearled. And then we need one white, which is pearled, and 3 green, all right, then 1 white again, which is pearled, and then 3 green, and then 2 white. The first one is pearled, and the second one's a simple stitch. Then we need a green, and then 2 white again. The first one will be simple stitch, and the second one is pearled. And then we need 3 green. And then the 2 white at the end. Which it's pearled. The first one is pearled, and the second one is just the end stitch. All right, so there we go. We just finished up Patty's. You could see the word right there. It's pretty cool. And I guess you could see day pretty well too. So work those off, and then work a row of white. So row 15 is nothing but a row of white. Then we'll be back for row 16 next. Okay, so row 16, we need 11 pearls. So you'll have 12 altogether, counting this one right here. So I'm just going to count that. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I'm going to use this green. I cut off the regular greens off of Patty's, so I already cut them off. Simple stitch that one in. Make sure that's long enough because I want to sew that in. All right, and then we need a pearl green, white. And then another green. Or simple stitch in that. And then we need 2 pearl whites. And then 3 green. All right, and then we should have 10. Yep. So we should have 10 left, but we have 9 pearls, and then the end stitch will make 10. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, which is the end stitch here. All right, so this is what it looks like for row 16. Work those off, and we'll be back for row 17 next. All right, so now for 17, we're starting out with 14 stitches of white. We're going to purl 13 of those, but 14 altogether because of this end stitch here. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I was wrong. We're going to purl 12 of them because this 13th one right here gets a, because it's white on green, we're going to do a simple stitch with it. All right, and then wait a minute. Need 14 altogether. Then this, okay, so this one gets simple stitch, the 12th one, or the 13th one, and then the 14th one gets purled. Sorry. All right, now we need 1 green and two pearl whites. And then 1 green. And then we need 11 pearls plus the end stitch, and you, well, actually the first two gets simple stitched. And then you're going to purl all the rest of them to the end, but you're going to have 12 whites all together at the end here. So there is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then this last one is 12. All right, so work those off, and we'll be back for row 18 next. Row 18. We are going to be needing 14 stitches of white to begin with. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then we need a green and 2 white. So these 2 whites get purled. And then we need 3 green. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to purl 9 in the next 9, and then your end stitch will make 10. So you'll have 10 white loops on your hook here at the end. All right, and then we'll work those off, and we'll be back for row 19 next. No, that was 19. We're going to be back for row 20. Okay, so for row 20, we're going to do our 14 stitches, starting out with the 14 white again. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then we need a green and 2 white. Nope. We need 2 pearl whites and 2, so we're 4 white altogether. So there are 2, the first 2 are pearls, and then the next 2 are slips, are simple stitches. And then we need 1 green. And then 10 white at the end. So 9 of them will be purled, and the last one is the end stitch, which makes 10. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So we'll work those off, and we'll be back for row 21 next. Row 21. We are needing 13 white to begin with. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then we need 3 green. And 1 pearl white. and 3 green again. And then we need 10 white to finish it off. So 9 of those will be pearled, and the last one will at the end makes 10. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And the word saint is done. Well, ST period is what it is. All right, so work those off, and then row 20, that was row 20. Row 22 is just nothing but white across. So work them off and then do row 22, and then we'll be back for row 23. Okay, so we did, we're doing row 22 next, row 22. All right, so because we did, this was row 20 and this was row 21, and I don't think I said that. So we're actually on row 22. So we're going to start out with 7 white, which 6 of these gets pearled. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and then I had already cut off that medium green from Saint, and then I'm starting, we're going to go do this dark green again for happy, and we need 1 green next, and 4 white, pearl whites. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need another dark green and 3 pearl whites. So 1, 2, 3. All right, and then we need another green, and then 1 pearl white, and then we need green, white, green. So there's a green, a pearl white, and a green. And then another pearl white, and the same thing. It's green, white, green. So green, pearl white, and green. All right, and then we need 5 more white at the end here. 4 of these gets pearled. So there is 2, 3, and 4. And then the fifth one is at the end here. All right. That's not 8, 6. All right, so we'll work those off and we'll be back for row 23 next. So row 23 then, we are starting out with 7 again. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we need a green and 4 pearl whites. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need another green. And 3 pearl whites. So 1, 2, 3. And then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The next 9 stitches we're switching back and forth between green and white. Just like we did before. So just follow the pattern that you've got on there. So there's, and all the whites are purled. And then the last one, the last 5 then, is all pearl whites except for, well, 4 of them are pearl whites. Well, come on. I get that to go in there. It doesn't look that tight. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so we're going to work those off and we'll be back for row 24 next. So row 24, again, we need 7, starting out with 7 white. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 green, and then 2 white this time. All right, then 3 green, and then 1 white, and 3 green, and then 1 white, and 3 green, and 1 white, and 3 green, and then the 5 white at the end, which 4 of those gets pearled. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 1 at the end, which will be 5. All right, work those off, and we'll be back for row 26 next. Actually, I think that's row 20. We just did row 24. Sorry. We just did row 24. We're going to be back for row 25 next. Row 25, we're going to start out with 6 white. So 5 of these gets pearled. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we need a green, white, green. And this white will be split, simple stitched. And then the next one is a pearl white. And then we need a green, white, green again. And that white in the middle is simple stitched. And the next white is pearl white. Whoops, put a green in there. So that's a pearl white, and then we need a green, white, green again. And the white in the middle is simple stitched again. And then the next white after that is a pearl white. And we need a green, white, green again. But this white is simple stitched in the middle. And then the next white is purled. And then a green, white, green again. And that white is simple stitched. All right, and the last 5 are white, 4 of which are purled. So there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so we'll work those off, and we'll be back for row 26 next. Okay, so row 26. We're starting out with 6 again. So there's 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now we need a green, white, green, and this white gets purled in the middle of these 2 greens. All right, next one is a pearl white, and then we're going to need 3 green. So there's 1, 2, 3, and the next one is a pearl white, and then 3 green. 1, 2, 3, and the next one is a pearl white, and then 3 green. Nope, actually the next one is a pearl white and a simple white, actually. Then we need a green. So you got 2 white and then a green, and then we need 2 white again. But the first one is simpled and the next one is purled. And then we need a green, white, green. So this green, simpled. Next one is white and it's purled. And the next one is a green, which is simpled. And then the last 5, which 4 of those are purled, just like we've been doing. And then the last one here makes the 5th one. So that will spell happy. And we got Happy St. Patrick's Day, which looks pretty cool. So you'll work those off, and then you need 4 rows of white to finish this off. And then you're going to do a border, just like we did with these. Same border, exactly same border. So go back to my first video, and which is the shamrock video, and it'll show you how to bind off and do the border. Um, but this is supposed to be a hot pad, and I did not use cotton yarn. So I'm just going to make this as one of my squares. And so this is going to be like one of my squares for the blanket. But if you want to make the hot pad, make sure that you're using cotton yarn. Otherwise, this is acrylic, and if you put something hot on acrylic, it will scorch it and melt it. So too hot will melt your yarn. So so in order to finish this, then I thought that I'm gonna do a video on this. So on making this, and what I did is wherever the greens were on this, I just put it in as a variegated yarn and made a silhouette type thing. And that's so cool, isn't it? So wherever the greens were, I just did the green, and then wherever the whites was, the white stayed, and then I just used the variegated yarn to do the inside wherever any of the greens were. So you can go to one of my videos, like when I did this video, and then anytime I said green, but it would be dark, light, or regular green, just put the variegated yarn in that space. And then wherever I said white stays white. So that's how I did that. It's pretty cool. And the same way with all these videos, you can make these silhouettes by just putting this variegated green yarn right in there. And I think that is so cool. And I thought this would be a really neat back drop of the pot holder or the hot pad, and then you sew them together. And you can go to any of my hot pads and I show you how to sew them together, but the borders and everything are all the same. So anyway, that will finish this up. But I thought I might do a video on how to do this one, and that'll be it. So I hope you guys are having a lot of fun making these St. Patrick's Day things. I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and bye bye now.